Hello everybody and welcome back to the Malbeefance channel. This is turn 44 of our series replay for Strategic Command World War One, and things are starting to move along a little bit quicker now as the Central Powers take on a much more offensive posture across all remaining fronts. So last episode ran a bit long, so I'm going to try and keep this one short. So let's just go ahead and advance the turn and see what we get. And British morale falls due to the loss of Port Said. So British morale is already under 25%, so we may be able to knock them out here pretty soon. German scientists report progress in mobility up to 96%. And industrial technology up to 63 for the current level. Austrian scientists make a breakthrough in long-range aircraft. So they now have long-range aircraft level 1. And they also advance mobility up to 76%. The Ottomans get fighter development up to fighter development. It does actually say that twice. Up to 64%. Long-range aircraft development, 35%. And there is our ledger for the up-and-coming turn. So the Austrians and the Ottomans making almost as much production points per turn as Germany did at the start of the game. The Earl of Cavan's deployment in Italy boosts Italian national morale. I believe that is a leader unit that gets deployed for Italy. All right. So yeah, so I kind of figured the Entente Mediterranean Fleet saw these two Turkish units moving up towards the Adriatic, and now they are coming out to find out what's going on. Little anti-submarine effort going on there. All right, looks like we were able to protect the amphib transports. And now we got some more repositioning going on in Africa and along the Western Front. So do we see any attacks? Any attempt to relieve Venice? Yes, no, maybe? Computer's thinking about it. Maybe, maybe not. It says fleet moving. Here we go. Here comes the air war. All the blimps drawing out my interceptors. Lot of airships on the Entente side. Alright, so here comes the usual artillery onto Liege. There can't be much left of that city. Alright. Artillery on Epinal, artillery on Trento, all the usual suspects. And the Italian infantry attacking the Germans in France. Looks like that's it for the attack on Liege this time around. It's two turns now where the Entente has not thrown its usual weight at the Western Front. Makes me wonder, are they building up for something bigger, or are they beginning to run out of steam? I guess we'll find out. I hope they're not going to leave these 3 hexes empty. As I mentioned before, that's not a good call. They're leaving me the ability to go after Cairo. That's a huge national morale objective. that's really going to hurt the UK's ability to stay in the war. So yeah, it looks like the computer's wrapping up the Entente side. Yep, there we go. The British royal family changed their name from Saxe-Coburg and Gotha to Windsor. It's definitely easier to say Windsor than it is all of that. But now that was a historical event. Try and distance themselves from the fact that they're related to Germans. And here, this is World War I, German bad. So here's our activity summary. And a garrison spotted near London. Corps spotted near Dijon. And our reinforcements are those 2 Austrian airships that we put together. So now the purpose of these airships is so that I can do scouting over Italy. So we'll deploy them there. Unfortunately, I don't get to use them until next turn, and we are already in the midst of launching the amphibious assault on Italy. But I want to start up here in the Atlantic first. So we'll go ahead and get these submarines out of here. They're getting low on supplies anyway. They got to make it all the way back to Germany. See if we can slip through the blockade. Yes, we can. All right. And so now the High Seas Fleet I'm just trying to see if I can scout around a few ships or a few areas, see if I can counter anything. Now I got to be careful here. The blockade works both ways. If German vessels inadvertently are sitting on the National Morale northern blockade hexes, either of them, or the distant blockade hexes, it'll disrupt German supply, even if it's German ships sitting there. Because merchant vessels just don't like being around warships during wartime, because you never know when somebody will make a mistake. And so normally I would want to avoid being along the coastline, but I am trying to draw out enemy units. So I'm going to go ahead and let those destroyers be along the coast right there, in the hopes that maybe it will bring out some Entente vessels. And to try and sweeten the deal, let them know that the seaplane tender is still out there. Alright, so these submarines have been upgraded to level 2. Let's go ahead and get them underway. Get them out there to help. Alright. Now, the main event, the Western Front. Let's go ahead and see what we can do here. So we got any cities? Tool, we're up against it, but I don't have artillery in place to work it yet. Check and see if there are any opportunities along the way. So far, the best one's going to be this French unit right here. Alright, he's up to half strength. There's an opportunity to go after another artillery piece if I am able to take him out of there. I think it's worth it. So start with the Zeppelins, draw out the interceptors. That way the scout bombers can get in unmolested. And he even does a point of damage. Awesome. Alright, now that the position's been scouted out, we fire the artillery. Let the anvils rain. Alright, now what are our odds? 1 to 5, 1 to 5. Let's start with the guy who's already damaged because I'm not going to advance with him. There we go. Oh, he's got Italian artillery backing him up. Awesome. Okay, so even though he can't entrench, wiping out that artillery piece was worth it. That was definitely worth it. So pull him back, advance him, fill in the holes. All right. Go ahead and get my cavalry moved up. All right, so that was worth it. French infantry corps and a French artillery piece. Definitely worth the if I wind up losing this guy, it was worth it. So do a little more swapping. Get the tired units into the rear so they can rest and recover. With the exception of, nope, they can switch. So let's do this. He'll go ahead and flip the trenches around. I'll move him further back there. Do I want to move that artillery piece up? Yes, I do. And then I'll go ahead and reinforce that infantry corps. So I'm not in a position to be able to take both of these two hexes like I want to. I'm going to have to get this artillery piece up here, so the earliest I can do something like that is next turn. But I can still cause some damage. To this unit here. And it might even slow down an upcoming Entente offensive in this area. Alright. So now that we've gotten the spot scouted out, do what damage we can with the artillery. And then let's go ahead. Oh yes, one-shotted him. Awesome. Absolutely fantastic. But, okay, let's do this. Alright, so that was definitely helpful. Oh, yes, I can. I can get him his elite reinforcements. There we go. I think that's all we can do for the fighters, yes. Alright. Alright, not bad. Not bad at all. So 2 French infantry corps and a French artillery unit. Definitely worth the effort. And pretty much, though, that is going to end, except for one thing. I got to get him out of there. There we go. Okay. All right, so that will take care of the western front. Now let's move on to the Alps. It's raining over most of the Alps. That's going to slow down movement. Now, I had anticipated that there might be an attempt to relieve Venice, but it did not happen. So that Italian infantry is down on supplies, making it vulnerable. So, well, no, I'm going to use the artillery anyway. I just won't use the scouts to spot it out. Instead, I'm going to use the scouts to attack the submarines. And of course, that instigates a small air war. That apparently the Austrians got the better results. The French fighter unit down here took damage, but the Austrian one did not, so that's good. Alright, so we got some damage on that submarine. The other one retreated, it dove. Dive to stay alive, as Gaming with the Colonel would say. Alright, so we have another upgrade. That's right, the Austrians wound up getting long-range aircraft. So I was able to upgrade one of them. Now let's go ahead and drop artillery all over this poor Italian unit. And one more. Oh, he took damage. Alright. Move him down there because he can move the trenches. I mean, not that I'm worried about that small garrison, but uh-oh. There we go. There we go. Move him up there. I got to get some more Austrian infantry corps up in here. Swap them out. Alright. See if I can move him out of there. Play little musical chairs here. So that way he'll be in supply, hopefully enough to where I can reinforce him. And then our next target is going to be both this this hex here and Venice. Get the headquarters up a little closer. And keep my border watchers moving. Alright, now something I know a lot of you have been waiting for. The invasion of Italy. Not much I can do about this submarine here, but I can check the approach path for the transports. He's got a port nearby, so... Alright, so the cavalry is landed. They've occupied their objective. Now let's go ahead and get the other two units in place. Oh. It says they suffered casualties on landing, but they didn't lose a strength point. I'm not going to argue. Get those ships back into port so that they can repair. All right. So I can't land any supply or any transports at Brindisi or Taranto just yet. So that's going to have to wait for next turn. All right. So, well, but the thing is, though, we've got the bridgehead, and now I'm going to start shuttling over more Austrian forces. And once the amphibious transports are available again, then we go ahead and we hit Ancona. And it just dawned on me that I'm going to need another German unit to help out with that, so I can land 3 units instead of just 2. So I'll figure that out in a moment. In the meantime, let's go ahead and isolate Athens. Oh, okay, I'll take those odds. Can we? Yes, we can. Upgrade the bomber, get us a little more infantry down here to help out with taking Athens. I'm not a big fan of force marching because of the damage that it does to morale and readiness, but sometimes you gotta. Alright, let me have a look around here real quick, see if there's anything else I want to do. I don't have transports available, and I don't want to put him on an amphibious transport, which segues right into the fight over here in Africa. As much as I would like to reinforce him, well, actually, yeah, I can do that. Let's go ahead and upgrade him first, and then let's make some space. I'll hold off on attacking until I've got the more troops over here. Okay, there we go. Now that I've got the headquarters over here, that will help. Unfortunately, I got to take the headquarters off of the road so that I can land that other corps. I'll let that unit wait at Crete until we have room here to land. Alright, so that reinforces Libya. And so that brings us to Egypt. Now the computer went ahead and gave me free access to Cairo. That really was not wise. Can you entrench? Nope. That's alright. So I'm going to go ahead and surround Cairo as much as I can. And let's see if we can remove this infantry corps. A little air battle over the unit. The Ottoman artillery actually has half a dozen shots. That's a good number. It'll definitely reduce their entrenchment to 0. Give these 2 infantry corps a much better attack odds. So now hopefully this infantry corps will attempt to attack the headquarters unit instead of reinforcing. I cannot hope that the computer will be that foolish, but you never know. I could get lucky. Alright, I really don't think I have to worry about any more attempts at an amphibious invasion along the Levant, so I'll go ahead and move up these garrison units to help plug in the rear area in Egypt. So let me zoom out here a little bit, just make sure that I've covered all of the fronts, got done everything that I wanted to get done. Alright, so the only thing left to do, I've got 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Is he within 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, he is. Okay, so I can pull one more of these guys out of here. So you, why can't, because he's not on a railroad. He is. So we'll bring him all the way down here so he can help out with the amphibious assault. Alright, so that's going to take care of operational movement, it looks like. We got lots of production left over that we can spend on units and research. So let's go ahead and start with the Germans here. So we're going to max out on fighter development. There, that'll max us out on long-range aircraft. We're going to max out on advanced subs. Not worried about airship development at this point. Ground attack weapons, mobility. Ought to get that next turn. Industrial technology is going to max out. Same with production technology, logistics, spying and intelligence, trench warfare. Not worried about amphibious warfare tech for the Germans this playthrough. Naval warfare is probably not going to have any effect, but I'll put it in there anyway. And so infantry warfare, that'll max that one out, and max out command and control. So that is everything for the Germans, and still leaves 350 some points. So I've got 4 artillery out. I really don't need more artillery. But what I do want to get is I've got another bombers coming. Let's get another fighter out there. So 219 left. I could replace one of the destroyers. That might actually show up on time. No, we will just stick... Oh, hang on. No, I can't make any more core for Bulgaria. Why is it? Because I don't have enough. I don't have enough left over. That's why. Okay. Nope. Well, it gets him in the pipeline. There we go. Alright, so moving on to Austria. They've got, what's left? So 860, it looks like. No, just 60. Their max is 1200. They're at 1140. So a 50, 40, or 45. So I'm personally not spending money on armored warfare, so there's no point in doing that. Could speed up logistics for them. That helps with artillery, restocking your artillery. And fighter development, long range aircraft again. Let's do the long range aircraft. Getting across the Adriatic and all of that. This way I won't need bases in Italy for the Air Force. Moving on to the Ottomans, they've only got 40 points left. So that means fighter development or airship development. So we'll go with fighter development. I mean, they're doing okay. I don't plan on expanding their air force any more than it already is. Alright, so purchase. I find myself in need of more troops down in Egypt. So we'll get another cavalry unit going. And for the Austrians, do we have more? Yes, we do. So the 2 maritime bombers. That looks like a fighter. Let me check real quick. Nope, that other one is a bomber. Okay, so let's get their 3rd fighter squadron out there. And that leaves them with 100. We'll go ahead and we'll bank that. And that is going to do it. That is going to do it for this turn. Once again, thank you all for watching. If you made it this far, as usual, please leave a like, subscribe, drop a comment if you would, and I will see you on the next one.